Se deu mal. Bem, galera, depois dessa bela abertura do
How
jogo,
can
né?
something as beautiful as this be dying? A plague is ruining the land, but the tree of life still stands. Question is, for how long? End is coming to the new world. The tribes stand divided, in need of someone strong enough to unite them, or bring them all down. This is a story with an unusual beginning. So, let's expect an unusual end.
Bem, agora sim, né? Bem-vindo aqui ao meu canal, né, pessoal? Estamos aqui em mais um vídeo. Mais uma vez é um jogo que eu recebi como cortesia. O jogo foi lançado hoje, dia 25 de maio. E vou trazer uma gameplay em primeira mão para todo mundo sobre esse jogo que parece bem promissor. Apesar do pessoal ter feito umas grandes críticas em alguns locais, até mesmo na Steam, né, que está como neutro. Mas eu acredito que o jogo seja legal.
Welcome to Biomutant.
Primeiramente, né, vamos diminuir esse volume aqui que está alto pra dedéu. Quase me deixou surdo. Controle esse jogo, blá 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 blá. Vídeo, nitidez, blá 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 blá. O jogo não parece tão pesado assim. Levar em consideração que tá tudo no máximo aqui, no padrão. Deixa eu só arrumar aqui um detalhezinho pra minha funcionar direitinho a gravação e live. E vamos lá. Novo jogo. Médio. Será que eu sou esse grilinho? Estou grilado.
Encode your DNA.
Escolher minha raça. Eu sou um primata, um Dumont, um Rex, um Hila, um Fip, um Murgel. Cara, se tivesse um que parecesse gato, eu pegava. Isso aqui é o que mais parece um gato, mas... bem feinho com essa orelha gigante assim. Qual que é o mais inteligente, será? Esse Fip, né? Mas tinha que ser o mais feinho, velho. Já vai o Rex. Define os atributos,
Define
beleza.
your genetic structure.
Quero um intelecto e um carisma mais alto.
Choose a genetic resilience.
A minha resistência. Tô tentando um aleatório, quero ver se eu acho um bem interessante. É, pode ser assim.
Choose your first style.
Meu pelo. Bonitinho assim.
Pick your main color.
Minha cor principal. É. Fica bonitinho, assim.
Choose your detail color.
Minha cor secundária. Branco mesmo.
Pick a class.
Tá.
Salando, Deadeye,
Pistoleiro,
Commander,
soldado,
Cyfreak,
psicodoido,
Saboteur,
sabotador, sentinela.
Cyfreak.
Pra quem me conhece sabe que eu gosto de magia.
Cyfreak chosen.
Vai ser esse mesmo, meu.
Good choice.
Eu só ver que apitou aqui. Movimentação do jogador. Pra frente é W.
Here's
Beleza.
somebody with a troubled past, drawn into the spotlight of a story that's already begun. We're already at a crossroads. Choosing a path in life is that.
Pera aí, gente. Só tirar aqui o... Que eu, como sou pouco lerdo, eu deixei o apito de
But for
WhatsApp.
you, it's not only a crossroad, but a choice. A reflection of your key, the primal energy that flows through everything.
Quero ser...
Let me introduce myself. I'm the light and bright side of you. Or your...
Seems more like you're being light-headed if you ask me, but you'll come around
Quero ser
eventually.
bonzinho.
But what comes around goes all the way back around. So, it's better to stick to your instincts. You can't fight what's in your nature.
In your nature, and here I was hoping we'd be all about natural selection, survival of the strongest, and so forth. If that's not instinct, then I don't know what is.
Natural selection is all about evolution and progress. And as soon as there's enough light, darkness will disappear.
Right is always right.
Gostei desse barulho.
Stories of death and the bodies left behind. A reminder that we're at the mercy of nature and the one that preys on others. Do you remember the beast that shattered your family? Or did you choose to forget? You turned your back on our world and got lost in your own. Meanwhile, the predator only grew stronger.
Cadê? Ai, caralho! Alt que corre. Aí. A parar. Como assim a parar? Ah, defende. Alt.
Better make a run for it. This is not the time nor place to end this story.
Ah, a cena da abertura. Enfim, chegamos nela.
This time, it was best to run and live to fight another day. Let us hope you're ready for it when it comes.
Bum!
The predator isn't the only threat. The wildlife started to mutate when the end of days began, and the tree of life started to die.
É um pouco confuso os comandos, mas deu.
Flex those arms.
Opa, tem um vaso. Sai do esgoto.
The oil sludges everywhere. To most, it only means death, but some have adapted to the new environment and changed with it. Evolution has its ways.
Ah, porra. O pessoal tem tiro também. Ah, só eu não. Ai, caralho.
Right between the eyes.
Ai.
Cracker doom.
Todo mundo morto. Kit de energia pequeno. Tá bom. E os outros combatentes? Não ganhei nada com isso não? Perco vida? Eu morro.
That's no.
Tá tirando, velho, que eu perco literalmente. Ah. É, pelo menos não voltou tanto assim. Ai! Au! Esse pessoalzinho não brinca de serviço não, hein? Pô, esse cara tira da onde os baús? Tá de zoeira comigo, né? Ai! Pera aí, obrigado aí pela raid, já olho qual é da raid, que eu vou morrer. Mas agradeço de antemão sem saber de quem que é e de quantos são. Tá... Meu Deus do céu! Para de tirar baú do barril do nada, bicho mal. Acabou minha munição. Deu. Pronto, tá morto. Agora deixa eu agradecer direito. Muito obrigado pela a raid Tai Mac Gomes. Muitíssimo obrigado pela raid. Tu tá jogando. Tava jogando o quê? Deixa eu ver aqui. Tava jogando. Outriders. Não conheço esse jogo. Qual é esse jogo? Sejam bem-vindos, pessoal. Já ouviram falar sobre esse jogo aqui? Que eu tô jogando? Tô meio perdido. Pra lá, pra cá. Ui! Muito obrigado pelo follow também, Valentim e a própria Thay, que me deu a raid. Muitíssimo obrigado, coraçãozinho pra vocês. Então, basicamente, acabei de sair do tutorial. Tô gostando. A única coisa que eu não gostei do jogo é que ele tem um preconceito contra gatos. Não tem uma raça que pareça com gato. Tem que parece um coelho, tem que parece um guaxinim, tem que parece um cachorro. Mas gato não. Eu queria um gatinho. Ai! Sai, 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 sai. Ah, tem esses caras aqui me atrapalhando ainda, né? Eita porra, sai, 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 sai. Merda. Morreu. Ufa. Ai, caralho. Sai, 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 sai. Vem cá, vem cá, vem cá, vem cá. Vem cá perto do barril. Toma. Ah, legal, eu posso tirar, fazer ele perder o escudão. Toma. Ah, beleza. Olha o bichinho que bonitinho. Ah, é bonitinho. Mas preferia que ele parecesse um gatinho. Parecendo, sei lá, um... Não sei que bicho que isso que parece. Que bicho que isso que parece? Um esquilo? Parecendo um esquilo do... Da Marvel, esqueci como chama. Guardiões da Galáxia. Daqui a pouco eu encontro o Gru. Oi, meu nome é Gru.
Look, an emergency box from the once was. A rare sight.
Ganhei um pé de cabra, uma baita de uma raridade. Um pé de cabra. Então tá, né? Alt. Tá, beleza. Tem como eu trocar minha arma? Será? Olha! Eu posso subir na parede? Ou é um bug? Parece ser mais um bug do que uma coisa real, né? Mas beleza. Enfim. Pra cá. Bora, 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 bora. Abre porta. Bora, 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 bora. Ah, pera, que eu descobri que tem como mudar de arma. Equipamentos. Armadura, dano corpo a corpo, blá blá blá. Mas não fala das minhas armas. Traje. Tomado. É legal. Meu grilinho pode fazer algumas coisas, pelo jeito. Ah, a moeda do jogo é folhinhas, pelo jeito. Capite. Beleza. Posso botar paciente leve, posso botar o ponto em alguma coisa. Botar intelecto. Tentar focar meu cara para ser o mais mágico possível. Vamos ver se dá certo. Opa, volta. Combate corpo a corpo com armas de longo alcance. Corpo a corpo. Desarmado. Tá. 2 em um F. Dois cliques e F. Vamos ver se dá certo esse golpe aqui. Seria legal. Volta. 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 Vamos lá.
That pipe looks weak. The claw bar should come in handy.
Bem, vamos lá. Ah, legal, com pé de cabra. E eu caí.
Whoa. It's time to find a way out of this place. No, really, I mean it.
Eu pulei da ponte que não podia ter pulado. Foi dar um golpe e deu ruim. Beleza. Eu fui morto pelo meu golpe.
The Morks produce biomatter in their multi-organ that they shed under distress. Blobs that affect the cellular coding strands of any living being when absorbed, including you. Kaboom!
Mas eu não posso destruir aquilo? Maldade. Ahá! Já vi uma caixinha aqui secreta. Eu quero ver o mundo aberto desse jogo aqui, tá muito linear esse tutorialzinho aqui. Cadê o mundo aberto?
Toxanol built vessels called arks to save themselves from the impending doom. But was it too late? It is only from the flight logs of the single ark they left behind that we know other arks traveled through the sky and beyond. It seems those that came before us never lost hope in finding a new home for their kind.
Tá, encontrei um puzzle. Opa! Tudo bom, Robson? Boa noite, boa noite. Puxe uma cadeira e se junte a mim. Tá, vamos ver se consigo entender qual é do puzzle. Nossa, mas que básico, né, esse puzzle? Que difícil. Nossa, tive que pensar muito para conseguir ver esse
There are
puzzle.
few records of the chain of events that led to the big apocalypse eons ago, but it's clear the world wasn't prepared for how recklessly the Toxanol Corporation would make its mark on the world. Their rare earth mining and nuclear industries generated tons of waste, and without consideration for the future, they dumped it all in landfills until they ran out of space. That's when they made the big mistake. They began dumping the toxic waste in the surf just off the coast instead, assuming that it would sink and decay with time. And they were right. But no one was prepared for what was about to unfold. Once in the surf, the radiation interfered with the genetics of the wildlife and created bizarre mutations in their offspring. It had an inconceivable impact on biodiversity and the entire ecosystem. The world as they knew it crumbled as nature retaliated. It would never be the same again, and what remained of it became ours.
Vamos que vamos. No próximo quebra-cabeça, se for tão difícil como isso aqui, acho que eu vou pegar meu cachorro ou meu gato para resolver para mim. Que, pelo amor de Deus, né? Tive que girar um botãozinho ali e acabou.
The sound of spark metal going pew pew is never a good thing. It's coming from behind that door. A warning label. The box looks like a potential brain melt.
Complicado? Dá um tiro nela que eu... Não, não deu certo.
It's going to take a bit of puzzling to
outro
short
puzzle.
circuit the door.
E parece ser bem óbvio também.
Just a few moves left. Make them count.
Bom.
There you go.
Branco com branco, amarelo com amarelo. Está feito o grande mistério do puzzle. Eita, tem um cadeirante ali.
The wheeled one is outnumbered. You'd better help him out. Itchy trigger finger. Get on. That's the last of them. Let's talk to the
Abort.
wheeled one before backup arrives.
Vamos olhar esses corpos. Se tem algo importante aqui, deve ter. Tá brilhando. Ganhei. Sei lá o que que é isso. Deve ser material para fazer forge depois. Melhorar meu personagem. Bem, vamos lá.
He wants to
legenda?
thank you for taking his side against the scavengers. He sounds familiar. You just can't figure out why. He presents himself as out of date. He knows he's way overdue, but he hasn't given up. He doesn't seem surprised that you don't recognize him. You were just a child back then, the night everything changed. There have been rumors of a one-eyed Ronin seen outside the Great Wall, and he's happy to see it's true. The legend of the one-eyed child that grew up as an outcast is old and sad. The child could have been anyone, but the evil it had fled had left a mark, a facial scar to remember. How Lupa Lupin somehow left you alive after his raid on the old village. He must have had a purpose with that. The question is, what? There's no doubt you're the child, and that what Lupa Lupin did to your village, your Muma and Popsy, was the beginning of the end. He says it has taken you a long time to bring the past back up to the present, to find your way back, but he's grateful you have. It was after the attack that the unity fell apart. Your Muma's disciples divided and formed tribes as a reaction. The impending threat of the World Eaters bringing down the Tree of Life is ever so close. He also worries about the Jagni tribe that's actively working for a doomsday and purging of the world. Had it not been for the Tree of Life, no one would have survived. He hopes you at least remember the tree.
Eu lembro. Voltei a ser criança agora?
Asks if you are tired, as it's a bit of a hike here from the village. He wonders if your Mooma knows you are here. You're such a good child, so you probably
Esse é o Elvis Presley, esse
even the
maluco aí.
young forget. He understands why you came all the way out here, to see them, the potato people. The potato people, or Nono, are a... You might be right. Like potatoes, they're packed with energy, an excellent source of ki. The Nono prefer to hide in glitter grass. He says you should get over there and ruffle it. See if you can make one come out of hiding.
Vamos lá balançar então. Opa. Eita, tá meio alto me pular. Vamos chacoalhar.
You found one. You should be proud. They don't come out for everyone. The Nono's key energy is just what the Pensai needs to complete its cycle and grow into a tree of life. Only time will tell. At least his intention is to dedicate his life to it. He has the feeling the fate of the world depends on it. You'll need to support the tree for a long time to come. The only way it'll grow tall is with the burst of ki released from the Nono as they become one with the tree. You'll need a net to catch the Nono, and he wants you to use his, but asks you to be gentle. The Nono are sensitive beings, an embodiment of ki, the primal energy.
Vamos lá, vamos dar uma magia aqui, o que é que eu faço?
You handle that net like you've never done anything else. He's impressed. He's grateful for all the help he can get. There's lots of Nono out there that need to be guided to the roots of the Pensai. Oh, it'll need a continuous flux of ki over the 12 months to come, so countless, he'd say. One day, he hopes the tree will have grown tall enough to sustain the world. But today, your focus is getting this one to become one with the tree.
Tem que subir? Tem, né? O gráfico do jogo é bem bonitinho. Bem feitinho. E bem otimizado também.
Now that you've seen the Nono's connection with the tree with your own eyes, you have no reason to doubt. From this day on, he'll make nurturing the Pensai into a tree of life, a life goal, not only for our village's sake, but for all of us, everyone. One day, the land won't be as peaceful. Not even your Muma will be able to protect us. You can already see the effects from how reckless those before us acted, and unless something changes, we're doomed. The land won't survive the side effects of the old world's industrial advances. He says you'd better hurry back to the village before your Muma comes looking for you. You did good here today. That's not true. She's the reason there's still unity, and the only one strong enough to keep the 6 Wang Fu disciples disciplined. He lost you there for a while, but no memory is alone. It's part of a trail you can follow. He says he remembers every single day he devoted to growing the tree of life, but now he's afraid it might be in vain. The tree started to die when the end of days begun, and it wasn't long after that that the world...
Devoradores.
The genetic evolution that occurred after the apocalypse that Toxanol Corporation inflicted on the land set the World Eater's DNA into overdrive. His friend Gizmo is working on a Mekton and needs help defeating the Jumbo Puff at the end of the West Route. Wiz is still repairing his octopod to confront the Merc Puff that dwells deep down under the surface at the end of the Northwest Route. Noko has tamed the Majut and is preparing to take on the Hoof Puff at the end of the East Route. Finally, Goop is almost done with the Goo Glide, a machine able to ride the waves of the surf all the way out to the Porky Puff at the end of the route to the southeast. Out of Date says his friends are gearing up to stop the World Eaters. There's one at the end of each route. The road ahead won't be easy, but he's counting on your support. His friends aren't strong enough to end this on their own. He wants you to understand that you'll all die if the tree isn't saved. His friends have prepared something specific for each World Eater. The Mekton, the Octopod, the Majut, and the Goo Glide are almost ready to ride. Regardless, you'll meet again once you've played your part in the tribe war and the situation with the World Eaters. You're getting the hang of it. Quickest way out is through the roof where they came in, and the rope looks strong enough to climb.
Vamos que vamos. Agora é o mundo aberto? Finalmente.
Know that the Tree of Life is dying. Its days are numbered. Without help, It can't endure the environmental change and assault from the world eaters. A signpost maps it out for the cartographically challenged. Let's see.
É, só eu percebi, vocês perceberam também. Que eu marco a placa dando uma mijada nela. Sou literalmente um cachorro, né? O checkpoint é marcado por um mijo. Interessante. É. Eu acho que não tá na hora de matar esse bicho aqui não, hein? Só acho.
That must be the world eater that chewed off Out-of-Date's leg. You'll need a hat trick to bring that down. The world eaters have made their marks on our world over time. That's not the first nor the last village it'll leave in its wake. Look, a survivor. Glad to see someone made it out alive. That's
Tô mais
interesting.
preocupado em pilhar. Agora que eu terminei de pilhar, vamos conversar com mais a missão.
He's heard the stories about the terror inflicted by the world eaters to other enclaves, but never expected one to come all the way here. He worries there won't be much left to save if this continues, even if the Tree of Life survives the attack. He doesn't know what your connection is to this place, but something tells him you've stayed true to your heart. Anyway, he needs help and says it's by your actions you'll... He's grateful for that. You still seem to have a spark of light in you.
That's a spark of light in you!
What's there to like about light? It hurts to look at.
Not as much as it hurts to look at you.
Always making this personal.
And you're always trying to pretend it's not.
There's Out-of-Date again. He must have missed something important. Out of Date says you will make a better stand against the World Eaters with the support of a tribe, and there are two nearby. The Myriad tribe is likely to be a good match as they act on the understanding of the greater good and have a code of honor. Regardless of who you choose, it won't be easy, as the conflict between the tribes is worse than ever, teetering on the brink of war. The Myriad's conviction to stop the World Eaters began when the Leviathans rose from the depths of the surf. Siding with the Myriad's movement for wholeness in a fragmented world might seem like the logical thing to do, but is it the right thing? One thing's certain, though. Destiny arrives all the same. The Jagni tribe only ever had one conviction: to bring balance to the world by wiping out the weak. They believe a cleansing is necessary to restore the world and want to let the World Eaters bring down the Tree of Life. But siding with Jagni isn't necessarily a bad thing. Fate will find a way. Out of Date says someone needs to break the stalemate and shift the balance of power to either Jagni's or Myriad's side. He believes the tribe Sifus, Myriad especially, will listen to you and expects you to pay at least one of them a visit and play your part. He can sense you share Myriad's view on the world. The Myriad would embrace someone willing to fight against the tyranny of the Jagni. Out of Date will be waiting for you beneath the Tree of Life if you lose track of what you need to do. Regardless, you'll meet again once you've played your part in the tribe war and the situation with the World Eaters.
Acho que eu quero do lado direito para ser mais legal.
Another fork in the road. It's either the tunnel or the motor bridge. What'll it be? It's unusual that natural tunnels like this still exist. Most of them got flooded. This area was beautiful before the tribe war began. Look at it now. It's a war zone. That's the Myriad Tribe's fortress. Will they be friends or foe? You should head up there. That way you'll know.
O nome já tá na placa.
Let's see. It's a beaten path to that door. If you go there, you'd better make an entrance. Says they're wary of strangers. They're at war. He can see you're a free spirit, so he'll let you in. The Sifu is always interested in meeting someone open to joining their cause.
Sibi? Lapvanen aginkanman. Geratna falo hutut mus. Tugai la wute.
The Myriad tribe act on understanding of the greater good and a code of honor. They believe uniting the tribes is the only way to restore the peace. The Sifu is convinced that defeating the World Eaters and saving the Tree of Life is the only way to make the world a better place. He welcomes you to the Myriad Fort and introduces himself as the tribe's Sifu. But he was hoping you'd show up. The news of a vigilante Ronin on crusade crossing the Great Wall through the crack in Bunker 101 has preceded you. He heard you took out-of-date side against the scavengers in Bunker 101. It seems you believe in helping your next. And that's something you have in common. He's convinced you've returned for a reason and is glad you chose to come here. There's something about your spirit that sparks memories of you as a kidling. He can still sense you're kind-hearted. The Sifu says sometimes one memory can make another come to life. He hasn't thought about your Muma for ages, even though she taught him a lot. He was one of the original Wang Fu disciples. Your Muma invented Wang Fu. Originally, it consisted of unarmed combat and the 6 weapons: the boomerang, the shuriken, the bow, the staff, the nunchuk, and the hook and chain. The Sifu says it's time to set the past aside, at least for now. Unrest is sweeping the land, and there are rivals in all directions. Myriad wants unity between the tribes. Their goal is understanding of the greater good and establishing a code of honor. If you believe there's some good in everyone, there's still hope for tomorrow. You'll unite the tribes and defeat the World Eaters to save the Tree of Life. He was hoping you'd join them. You understand that there's no harm in doing good to others. The Sifu was waiting for something to tip the balance in their favor, and with you by their side, he's confident you can unite the other tribes. The Myriad were placed here to fulfill a certain purpose, chosen to unite the tribes and take control of their destiny. The tribes need a firm hand guiding them into the future. Their kin have run out of options and found themselves backed into a corner. Even those who desire peace have been forced to prepare for war. They might bring them war, but they'll never take away their inner peace. He wants you to focus. These are the new rival outposts your tribe needs to take control of. He says you'll regret not being on their side. The only way you'll learn their secrets, Wung Fu and the tribe weapon now, is if you defeat him. And that will never happen.
Karamotti.
You both have gentle minds, so they want to wage a gentle war. A war that bonds as much as it breaks.
Hello, Geratna Fala Hutut. Get out full of Vasine Habele.
Tells you not to be afraid. Your fate cannot be taken from you. Claim the rival outposts and earn the right to wield the tribe weapon. Once you've dealt with the rivals' outposts, you'll challenge their Sifu to unite their tribe with yours and let your kin share land again. They passed the point of no return as their words lost power and see no other way forward than using violence to combat violence. Seeing you brings back his memories of the old village. Myriad wants unity between the tribes. Their goal is understanding of the greater good and establishing a code of honor. He remembers your kind and unselfish soul and can sense you still have it in you, the will to do good. Anyway, the memories you make with your family are strong. Even though it's now a different place from a different time, it is a place that'll make you remember.
Beleza. Vamos que vamos.
At least you're not coming out of this empty-handed. With life, there's always hope. Blasting everything to bits.
Acho que eu vou abrir um hospital daqui a pouco. Tem uns paradrapos que eu tô achando pelo mapa. Só tem isso. Todo baú que eu abro.
Better beware, that's a mump up ahead. They were hit hard by evolution, the wonky ones especially, deformed and unfurred. Time is lost on this place, but it evokes a tingling sensation. There's something special about it, drawing you closer.
Dá aquela mijadinha na placa, né?
As time passes, memories fade, and sometimes feelings change. It's not about who you were, it's about who you'll become. This story is far from over. Echoes of a long-lost past, like whispers in the wind. Here's someone who takes each day as it comes. He asks how you are today. Goop says he always does better whenever he leaves failure behind. He's happy his good mood is infectious. He wonders where you've been. He hopes you've been out at the lake, practicing your swimming technique. Learning to swim can be scary when you don't know what you're doing. But fortunately, he's here to give you a helping hand. He thinks you should really know how to swim by now. And he'll be honored.
Bom jeito de ensinar a nadar. Me joga na água e fala, nada. Aí se não souber nadar, você afunda, afoga e morreu. Game over. Legal. Que é o que acabei de falar. Joguei praga.
He says that wasn't too bad, was it? He says a feeling that you're going to drown is a great reminder of the need to learn how to swim. But you need practice, lots of practice. You need to rely on those who somehow know how to teach. Those willing to bend down and help you pick up your boots. You just need more time in the surf. That's the only way you'll ever learn how to swim. You can never try too hard. Judging by your Mooma's look, it seems you forgot something. You promised you'd train with her before the sun goes down. It's time to go. The dedication to training is important. You can't rely solely on the fact that Wang Fu is in your blood. You should know, practice makes perfect. As long as it doesn't kill you, it'll only make you stronger. She'll see you at the village square. She says that's good. With a passion for learning, you'll never cease to grow. Here's another familiar face with lots on his mind. Asks how you're feeling today. His only interest when creating is that what he comes up with is actually useful. He was hoping you could help him pick up some scrap for a thingamajig he's working on. He thinks you're truly a kidling of your environment. You should look for things that are recyclable. It shouldn't take you too long to find some. He wonders what usefulness you found. He says every little thing counts. He can work wonders with almost anything and asks if you know how to upcycle. He says only a few are willing to do the little things, but if you make enough of them, they can have a big impact too. He'd love to teach you to upcycle, and the scrap you found would be a good start. You did well, but he can't help but wonder why you decided to craft a weapon. He appreciates those able to deliver a sharp remark. He understands, but hopes you won't be needing it anytime soon. He thinks mastering the 6 weapon styles of Wang Fu is more than enough for anyone. He's looking forward to seeing what you'll make next. It seems you have a talent for this. It looks like she's starting to lose her patience. You know she doesn't like waiting for you. She wants to see you on the village square right away. You'll continue to build on the basics. Talent will only take you so far. She wants you to grow up and start thinking for yourself. You really need to find yourself before she's gone. That's all she's ever asked of you, that you'll try and give it your best. You can't do more than that. You've always followed your own path, but this time she needs you to follow her. Then start by meeting her on the village square and take it from there. She knows you're a free spirit, always on the move, like the wind. They look determined. Better watch out. He asks you to stop right there and wonders where you think you're going. He's not scared of anything, least of all you. There's no way they'll let you pass. He wants to know who you think you are. You'll have to face pain at some point. He offers to help you get it over with. She asks if you're hurt. What happened? She's there for all disciples. That's her commitment as Sifu. And when she needs them, they're there for her and each other. The most important thing is that you're okay. It's time to focus on your training now. You won't need excuses if you are strong in your conviction. Here's someone close to heart, doing what he does best. Seeing you always puts a smile on your Popsy's face. He wants to know how you're feeling. He heard you helped Gizmo clean up. He's proud of you. He asks if you could help him too before you leave for training. He wishes that was true for your Mooma too, but guiding the village into the future and teaching Wang Fu to her disciples seems more important for every day. He suggests you get going and find him gadgets and ideas for how you can upcycle some old fabrics.
Acho que tem uma pilha que eu não enxerguei, será?
He's curious to see what you've found. He's all for renewal and has even considered making the trip out into the wilds to look for a bionucleus pool and refresh his DNA. He can work wonders with pretty much anything and asks if you know how to upcycle. Thinks some are and some aren't. One thing's for sure, though, your Mooma thinks it all takes up too much space in the house.
la fea nur.
He says it's about time you learned how and offers to teach you, starting with the scrap you found. The style might be too edgy for his taste, but it looks sharp on you. He knows she's already proud of you and everything you've achieved so far. You should take it with you, wear it to practice. He thinks you should. She'll be proud of you. He's looking forward to seeing what you'll make next. It seems you have a talent for this. Your Muma says it's about time you got here. Wants you to understand that you can do anything if you work really hard. She says she is eager to get started. You don't have much time left before the sun goes down. But there's enough time left for repetition, and you need it. Training dummies don't hit back. That's a good attitude as long as you keep learning. Your Muma says you did well today. She's so proud of you. You should just keep working and you'll do well. Been working on a present for you, with the help of Gizmo and Wiz. You should go see him and find out what it is. You've deserved it. Says he's always thought so well of you, just like her.
A ursão curtindo o narguilé. Ah, o grilinho.
Catchy. Your Muma says she's never seen an apparatus as green as this little thing. It's wonderful. Figuring that out is half the fun. A piece of Scraptronics like this has built-in old-world tech that makes it a potent communication device. It's called an automaton, and it's hardwired to your DNA. It'll follow wherever you go. You're lucky to have such a fine helper with you. Your Muma says you look tired. No wonder. It's been a long day. She's so happy you made the most of it. Rest, and you'll find strength for tomorrow. Nothing could stop Lupa Lupin from setting the world on fire. Your Muma urges you to blaze a trail. A burnt kidling will learn to dread fire.
Eita!
Give it a last burst and you'll make it. Your Muma says this is it. The time has come. She must fight Lupa Lupin. Lupa Lupin is a problem older than you. Whatever happens, you need to know she loves you. And everything she's done has been to protect you, your Popsy, and those she was chosen to lead. She tells you to stay back. This is her fight. It has nothing to do with... She loves how brave you are, but she can't be worrying about you while she fights. This is her fight. Here it comes. The past coming to haunt the present.
Tem que ficar vendo a luta da minha mãe, é isso? E ver ela morrer ou algo do tipo?
Must go through fire and water to make it out of here. Your Muma says you can make it if you believe in it. Where she goes, you go. Blood is thicker than water. You're in deep surf. Don't make waves. The surf goes where it wants to go. It'll take you to the shore as long as you go with the flow.
Uai, por que que eu foguei?
Death is not to be feared by one who has lived life with a pure heart. A part of her will live on in you. The creature is hungry for more. Nothing is going to stand in its way now.
Eita, esse monstro matou a mãe, então.
If a sacrifice is made for someone else, it's not lost, but passed on to the next. Life must go on. Real sacrifice comes from love and necessity when all other options are exhausted. The ultimate test of conscience is the willingness to give up anything to save what you truly care about. What you do for yourself dies with you. What you do for your kin remains and makes you immortal in their memory.
E matou o pai também.
As the moment fades and is lost, the only thing that remains is loneliness. It doesn't mean you'll forget your past. It simply means you need to move on.
História triste.
The tribe's caught a fluffy hulk. Better watch out, it's no pet. They couldn't keep it down. Fluff hulk's on the loose.
Ai!
Dead.
ouch, alla giuge, right tessuto.
You gave them no choice but to take it down, even though they'd planned to take the fluff hulk out to the Farfnacky leaves and let it go.
Lo sorate me susute, pe tuyo tutumayo.
They've received news a Ronin had strengthened their ranks.
E mahorio tulu Adrianco.
A group of myriad crusaders already headed out to Jagni's Mercadorpus outpost.
Chukamedro de oucha.
You should hurry there and help them best the outpost.
Tulo, mudre mayo.
You complete them. From this point on, the myriad is unbroken.
Ah! Caraca, hein? Não tem nenhum poste me dar uma mijada, não? Postezinho, quero postezinho. Nem do corpo, não tem nada pra me pegar também? Bem, vamos dar um save aqui. Para o vídeo não ficar muito longo, eu vou parar por aqui nesse vídeo. Se vocês gostaram desse jogo e da gameplay que eu andei fazendo, deixe nos comentários aí que eu farei novos vídeos sobre esse jogo. Parece promissor, parece legal, né? Não se esquece de inscrever no canal, né? E é isso, gente. Um grande abraço e até o próximo vídeo.